Supplier management is the cornerstone of the LiveSource launch portal, ensuring that only qualified suppliers are awarded new business. It provides a single source of truth for all information related to your company's supplier base. Let's take a look. This is a LiveSource dashboard, and here you can see the Suppliers tab. Let's start with My Address Book. This is where you manage the suppliers that you engage with the most, the ones that are specific to your needs. Here you can create folders to organize your suppliers as preferred or challenger. Let's dive into a supplier record, TMU Manufacturing. Hovering over the name displays high-level information such as the company ID, status, and main contacts. Clicking into the profile brings us to the dashboard for that supplier. The dashboard contains important information that you want immediate access to, such as supplier status and other key metrics. But let's start with how this information is gathered to populate this dashboard. Gathering supplier information starts with the SIS, the Supplier Information System. Here you can see that TMU Manufacturing has several supplier cards. These cards are created by the buyer and sent to the supplier to collect the required information. And that's important to note. The suppliers are maintaining their own information in the system. For example, here we have cards for general information, commodity, financial, quality, and several others. LiveSource provides several templates to help you get started, and they are highly configurable so you can change them to meet your specific needs. If we drill down into the logistic card, we can see the type of information being collected. Some of this information is provided by the supplier and some is pulled from other systems in your company. In this case, the delivered on time and on-time delivery ratio is pulled from the ERP. The global logistics score may be pushed from another system, or LiveSource can calculate that information for you. And at the top, we have graphs to represent the trends of the data below. So that's just one example of a supplier card. Looking back at the overall list of cards, you can see the status of each one. Currently, each of these cards is up to date. However, when the expiration date draws near, LiveSource sends out alerts to both the supplier and buyer that the card needs to be updated. Additionally, the buyer created a risk management card for this supplier, where they pulled critical information from other cards to create an overall risk score. Here you can see financial, quality, and global logistics scores, and where LiveSource calculated an overall risk score for the supplier. And again, a visual graph at the top charts the data, showing how the risk has changed over the past several months. Now let's take a look at the Status tab. The Supplier Quality Development Team leverages the information and scores in the supplier cards that we just saw to assign a supplier a certain status. The status level determines a supplier's ability to bid and be awarded new business. Here you can see this supplier is both a challenger and preferred, based on different commodities and regions. The supplier is preferred for these items in EMEA. If we dive deeper into the permissions, we can see that the preferred status indicates the supplier is approved for the buyer to send RFQs and also approved for RFQ nomination. However, the supplier is a challenger for all other regions. This indicates that you can send them an RFQ, but they are not yet approved for nomination. What's great about supplier status is that it drives the supplier nomination workflow. In this case, the supplier could be sent an RFQ in North America, and upon acceptance of their bid, the Supplier Quality Development Team would be alerted to start the qualification process so that you could proceed with an RFQ nomination. The rest of the tabs contain additional information relating to the supplier and the projects that they are involved with. Here you can manage all of the supplier certificates in one place. To the left, you see the list of certificates. If you scroll over a specific listing, all of the details about that certificate are displayed, and you also have a link to the actual document. You can see the status and the expiration date of each certificate and if it's active. The Notes tab provides a section for any type of additional information that you would like to document on that supplier. You can even attach files to your notes. The DMS tab is the document management system for all the various forms and documentation related to a supplier. You can see there are different folders related to finance, logistics, performance, and others. And all documents are available to download and view. The Statistics tab organizes various types of information. Here's the information on the children companies that fall under TMU. Here you can see that TMU is the parent company with 2 other divisions that are in LiveSource. You can even drill down into the cards for each of these suppliers. You can also review information such as general volume, current analysis, target analysis, or any stats that you need. Under the Items tab, you can see every part that this supplier has worked on. You can drill down for detailed specifics on each item and see if it's active or no longer in production. LiveSource Supplier Management accesses data from other LiveSource modules. Here we are accessing LiveSource Quality to see if there are any non-conformancies associated with this supplier. You can see the status, severity, and date of each listing. You can also drill down for more detailed information on each one. As we scroll down, you can see open PPAPs, FAIs, APQPs, and coaching events. Here we have Contract Lifecycle Management. You can see a list of all contracts associated with that supplier, and again, you can drill down for more detailed information on each listing. So let's go back to the dashboard for TMU Manufacturing. This is what first appears when you drill into a profile of a supplier record. To the left, you can see basic information, leading with the supplier status. Here we see TMU as both a challenger and a preferred supplier. Here is their supplier number, location, website, and other basic information. To the right, you can create a dashboard of the specific information that you need to keep track of. Various charts and graphs, data such as their overall risk score or current on-time delivery ratio, and a list of all your main contacts. All of this information is pulled from the various sections of the supplier record that we just reviewed, but it's right at your fingertips, so you don't need to go into the various tabs and drill down to access the information. As I stated earlier, what makes LiveSource Supplier Management so robust is that all the specifics about a supplier are stored in a single place, giving you a 360-degree view of that supplier profile. It starts with collecting supplier information in SIS cards, which can then be calculated to provide an overall risk assessment score. LiveSource collects every other piece of information associated to that supplier, such as certificates, documentation, and quality activities, linking it to that supplier record, and then leverages the data for downstream processes such as sourcing and supplier quality development. For more information about LiveSource Supplier Management, email info@livesource.com.